The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today we're going to start off the show talking with Brooke Brown, who's the Executive Director of Nakeki o Emilia. Hi, Brooke.
Morning, Susie.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You have done marvelous things in the, what, we talking 2 years?
2 years. Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
We're celebrating 2 years now.
Gosh, I mean, for those of you who are not familiar with Nakeki o Emilia, you want to give them just a short, brief, capsulized version of what it is, how we got here?
Yeah, certainly. We are a children's bereavement program. We began two years ago. We had our first groups a year ago. We are here for children 3 to 18 years of age and their families. They come to a group and children meet in one room and the adults meet in another, so they all get support. This is all at no cost, and this is not therapy nor counseling. This is peer support, which is really the most effective modality for working with children in their grief.
And before the show, we were talking just briefly that a lot of times we don't think about children when there's a situation where grief is involved. We think about the adults and their loss, and it's like we just forget that the kids lost something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're expected to just be normal.
Well, even if they aren't expected to be normal, people don't. The thing that I've heard again and again and again people say is, oh, children are resilient. So there's an assumption that the kids are going to be fine. And that's a really big thing, because a lot of kids will look fine. And you can talk to adults who will say, I looked fine, but I was not fine inside. And a lot of times children and teens don't have an adult they can talk to, their parents, either because their parents are both, they're a surviving parent, or parents are working all the time. Sometimes the parents haven't done their own work, and so they can't tolerate it. Sometimes the kids won't talk to their mom or their dad because they've heard that person crying at night, and they don't want to make their parents feel worse. I mean, there are all sorts of reasons. So oftentimes children feel very alone in their grief. And that's one of the things that we really try to work with through our groups. They know they're not alone. And we also normalize talking about a death. Susie, our culture is so death phobic. Mm-hmm. Everybody agrees about that. And even our language. And when we're talking to children, we talk about, well, when did your mother die? We don't say, when did you lose your mother? A child, might think, well, maybe I better go find her. You've got to be very concrete when you're talking with young children. And past, where'd she go?
Right.
So we say die. We don't correct any of the children or teens that use those words, but we make a point of not using euphemisms for 2 reasons. One, because it's important for them to hear it. And secondly, to help normalize it so that it becomes more a part of the culture, and people use the word death and die. And people are dead.
Right. Wow. And that's something so basic.
It is, but we shy away from it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because it's something we don't want to have to get into a discussion about.
Oftentimes that's the case. And in our experience, I mean, it's very interesting because some parents have told us when their kids come to the group, the kids have not wanted to come. And they're kind of like, oh no, I don't want to go there. Well, who can blame them? You really want to go to a grief, group, and you want to be talking about, how hard it is or who died and all of this. It's like, they're more exciting and fun things to do.
Right.
But the kids come and man, they walk out and it's different. They've had fun and they talk about it. So it's a normal thing, and they're with other kids who've had similar experiences. So it's really cool to watch how this happens. They go out laughing, and it's very cool. Kids will come in looking down and sort of dragging and slumped over and like, oh God, I've been dragged here. And in some cases they have been, but they walk out. They're chatting. They're standing up tall. It's really cool.
And probably can't wait for the next session.
Some of them can't. In fact, I was talking to a mom the other day because I wanted to check in on her. She hasn't come. They've missed a few sessions, a few times. We meet every 2 weeks. And I said, I'm curious if you just had wanted to stop coming but didn't want to say so. Was there anything we could have done differently? Because we want to make the best program we can. She said, oh no, my girls love coming, but I've had to be on another island every time you've had a group, so we haven't been able to come. So the kids are enjoying it, which is really good.
That's interesting.
And it's really cool, Susie, also just to throw out a couple of statistics, because a lot of times people say, oh, really, how prevalent is this? I can throw out two things. One is that 1 in every 20 children are apt to lose a parent. Statistically, they'll have a parent die before they reach the age of 18.
Wow. 1 in 20.
1 in 20. And that's just a parent. That's not accounting for siblings or grandparents or Ohana members that they're close to, girlfriends, boyfriends. The other statistic that really makes it very finite is that 7 in 10 teachers right now currently have one child in their classroom who has had a parent, a sibling, someone close to them die. And so that's like, if you take all the classrooms on Maui, 70% of them have at least one child in there who's dealing with a death.
Wow.
And what's exciting is we just started a group this week at Baldwin, and next week we're starting at Maui High. And these school groups, we're not going to have the parents involved, but at least we're getting to the kids. And the kids can also come in the evening with their parents or send their parents with their siblings, whatever. So we're hoping to reach more families that way.
Well, one of the things that I like about what you're doing is that this is not, you don't have to have experienced a loss in the short term. I mean, like right now. Mm-hmm. This could be something that happened 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago.
A woman called me recently, and she wanted to know if her children and she could come. The children are 11 and 14. And I said, certainly, who died and when did this happen? The death was 8 years ago. But it's now that it's come up for one of the children, which is really normal. Children's brains develop at different ages, differently. So a child, as they age, they're dealing with more complexity and more questions. And sometimes, they're used to not having their dad or their mom there. But then suddenly, it's a father-daughter dance for the first time. Mm. And it's like, I don't have a dad. And it hits. Or let's say the child is able to get a driving permit, and all the other kids have their dad or their mom, and suddenly they don't. It's that kind of thing that can just blindside someone. And there's a hole for these kids too. They may have looked fine all the while, but inside there's a missing piece.
Yeah, that may have been churning. Mm-hmm. Not knowing it. Mm-hmm. What about the loss? If, say, a friend loses somebody, and the kids are trying to kind of help them because they had a loss, like you said, 8 years ago maybe, and they think, well, they made it through it, so I can help them make it through it. Does that sometimes bring up an issue where they realize they haven't worked through it, and maybe you could end up with both of them in a session?
The child and a friend?
Yeah.
Um,
Has that ever happened?
I have, yeah, not exactly that. We had one young woman who brought one of her best friends because the girl had lost her dad, but her friend had lost a grandparent with whom she was very close. So she brought that. And we have another situation where, again, a lot of times the kids have a friend and they say, oh, I want my friend to come too. And that hasn't happened yet. They're welcome to come. I mean, if the friend has had someone that they're grieving.
Right.
It's not just a friend to keep you company here
Right.
in the group. So it would be, along that line,
I could see, where maybe, like I said, you feel like you've handled it, but your friend's not handling it very well. And you can't say the right thing to them, or you just can't seem to help them like you'd like to. It seems like the reasonable thing to do is to say, well, let's go to this session and see if it helps both of us.
Well, I think, Susie, actually, I don't think that exact situation would arise. I mean,
Okay.
I think if the kids thought their friend would benefit, that would be a standalone. They'd say, yeah, you need to
go.
come. Because the kids who are in our groups are learning, they can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
So, and they know better than I do at my age what one of their peers and their friends needs.
Gotcha.
The problem that makes it so hard for kids is a lot of times somebody dies and their friends don't talk about it. Everybody shies away from it. They're afraid if they talk about it, it's going to make them feel worse, or they don't know what to say, so they avoid it. And so this poor child is stuck not being able to talk about the person they love who died. But come to the groups, they get talking. So if they have a friend and they know the friend's dad or mom or sister died, our kids will talk about it with them.
Gotcha.
Because it's normalized. It's and so they would be helping their friend in that way
Great.
directly. I
Yeah.
mean, that is what's so cool about these groups. The kids are who are helping the other kids. We, as facilitators, are just holding a safe space. We don't try to fix anybody. We don't have the answers. The kids are the experts on the kids, and they're just given a place to heal.
Interesting.
It's really cool.
So at some point, the children that you've worked with, I mean, this number just expands because they're working with other kids, their friends, other relatives, whatever. And you may never see them, but they've gotten a lot from what you worked with on the first kid.
Yeah.
Did anybody follow that one?
There's a ripple effect.
There you go.
Ripple effect. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's I see that as one of the fabulous outcomes
You
of
got
what
it.
you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I know that we've talked about, what you do before, but you've got a big event coming up.
Tomorrow.
That's pretty close. But in this day and age, tomorrow is doable.
It's doable. And it's tomorrow is National Children's Grief Awareness Day, which began in 2008. And it was started by a group in Pennsylvania, a group similar to our group that worked with kids. They were school kids. And this kids actually generated this day because they wanted to raise awareness because they knew how it felt to grieve alone and how nobody talked about who died and all children's grief.
Interesting.
So that's where this began. And we're one of about 135 agencies in the country who are a children's bereavement program. And many of us have hopped on the bandwagon to call attention to tomorrow. So to that end, we have a big Facebook event, big campaign there. We have collection boxes that we're going to have at about 80 venues around Maui. And again, it's to just get us visibility so more people are aware of Nakekio Emilia. There will also be brochures in a holder with most of these boxes if the merchants, have enough room on their counter space. And we're hoping to get donations that way because we exist on private funding.
Right.
And our program is at no cost to people. So we're doing that with the boxes and just trying to get as much press and people aware of it. Children's grief, that is, not so much, aware of us here on Maui,
Right.
but to just start thinking about the importance of addressing children's grief. Because it's so important. Because, kids who don't address it, it comes out. It doesn't just disappear. It comes out and can bite them later when they're adults. excuse me, comes out in terms of depression, impaired relationships. Depressed kids can turn into, they can have trouble in school, get somatic problems, oh, my tummy hurts and don't want to go to school. They grow into teens, you're looking at drug abuse, sex, promiscuity, alcohol, all these things that it can be grief
you can trace it back to grief.
That wasn't processed, and it comes out in these really unhealthy ways. So to be able to attend to these kids and let dying and death, it's a natural thing, and to give it its path so it can work through them, that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I think that's awesome that it was the kids that started this day to promote the awareness factor. Because you're right. I mean, we just don't think about it. It's not a fun thing to think about. So we just kind of put it on the back burner, and next thing we know, we've lost somebody else, and we spend our day or two thinking about them and how close they were to us, and then we try to hide it or put it in a file someplace up here in our heads and just recall from time to time. And so having the kids promote it, that's fabulous. We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back. We'll talk more with Brooke Brown of Nakeki Oemalia.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we're back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors and their staff and find out what's happening in their world. And as we know from past shows, every agency has a world of its own that it works in. Sometimes it's, sometimes it's not the right word I want to use. It just stopped me, just flat. Wait a minute, that's not where I want to go. We all have the different worlds that we work in. And when we're talking about the world that is ours, we talk about sometimes it's to change things, to fix things, to create miracles of hope. We talk about that. Right now we're talking with Brooke Brown of Nakeki Oemalia and talking about grieving. And this is for the children. What did you say ages?
3 to 18.
3 to 18. The kind of the forgotten ones, I would think, in the normal family situation of last days of life and post those days. I just, not ever having kids, I can't imagine how you would try to explain to a child what's happened, that you're never going to see this person again. And I know that's not what you want to say to them, but having that discussion early on, does it make a difference? I mean, it would make a difference how soon you talk about it.
Well, I think that what you want to do is talk about it all the time. But remember, if you're going to talk about it differently with a 4-year-old from a 14-year-old.
Right.
And the important thing is that you speak the truth and you don't over-talk. You don't give a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old too much information.
Right.
But you answer them honestly. Where did Mommy go? Mommy died. Well, where did her body go? And you answer it.
Right.
Well, her body, when, however, whatever your religious belief is, comes into play there. And we don't,
Right.
Nakeki Oemalia has no affiliation there.
Right.
But you just explain. And little children know when a gecko is dead on the floor.
Yeah.
They know the gecko doesn't move anymore. They know. So it's like, that's how mama was. And you don't have to volunteer what happened to mommy's body. And if they ask it, you say, well, it's buried, it's in the cemetery. Because mommy, as we knew her, isn't in that body anymore.
Right.
Or, it gets cremated. That's what happens. And a child might say, well, what does that mean? Oh, that gets put in an oven. I mean, how? Well, yeah, you're cringing.
I know I am.
And I don't know that that's exactly what you'd say, quite frankly.
Right.
It would just depend on the child. I've not heard a child ask for those specifics yet.
Right.
Generally the children and little kids are on to the next thing.
Right.
They don't stay with a subject longer. But you just have to answer them honestly. That's the really important thing.
Answer the question and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them lead you to the next.
Totally, because they'll keep revisiting it for years, and it'll be different all the time. I think another thing that's important to say is about children and grieving is that it's not fair to assume that they're just going to get over it by themselves. That's not necessarily true.
Good point.
So it's like attend to them. And that's one of the things that we're hoping to do with Children's Awareness, Grief Awareness Day tomorrow. Really have people think about the children, because a lot of people think their attention goes to the parent, the surviving parent.
Mm-hmm.
And with good reason, because it's really hard when they've lost their partner. Suddenly they're single parenting, and there's an economic burden in most cases, and so forth and so on. And the children kind of can get lost in the mix. Mm-hmm. And it's critically important for the kids that they be tended to. And a lot of time the surviving parent doesn't have much bandwidth emotionally to really even parent, because they're so wiped out. It just depends on the circumstance. So to have a group like this that can be helpful is terrific.
It is. It's fabulous.
And as far as we're concerned, let's say a parent couldn't come. If there's a tutu or, auntie, that person could bring the child. We just want to have a constant, so that child knows there's somebody they can talk to about the death if they need to.
Right. Wow. Now tomorrow, the Grief Awareness Day. You've got you talked earlier about having some boxes out for donations. You mentioned that there may be as many as 80 locations. You want to just give us a few of them to give us some idea where we might find them?
We've covered a lot of the main spots in the island. We've got several in Kahului. We've got Maui Coffee Roasters. I'm just looking here at the list. Maui Brewing Company in Kahana. Ui Lani Shave Ice and Minute Stop in Tamura's, all of their locations.
Oh, wow.
They're doing all of that. We've got Grandma's Coffee House in Keokea, Kuau Mart, Ulupalakua Ranch Store, Toby Shave Ice, in Paia, and other stores too. Leota's at Oluwalu, Four Sisters here in Wailuku Coffee Company. So it's just sort of, spread out. So we're most grateful to those people and some of the golf courses, a couple of the pro shops have boxes. Catch some of the golfers. Yeah, and visitors and tourists. I mean, because we're just hoping that it's not just residents, but, other people will attend to this too.
Right. And,
the other thing, Susie, is that I would really, if people are interested in more, they could go to our Facebook page. If they just put Nakekio Emilia in the search bar, they'll go right to our page, because we're having a big event on, a Facebook event.
A Facebook event.
And also, if people go to our website, which is www.nkoemaui.org, we have a wonderful 13-minute video on our homepage now. And it is a great educational tool for people to watch. There are, 9 or 10 people that have talked about children's grief. A few of these are people who didn't get much help when they were young and had a loss, and they talk about it this way. And there are also a couple of professionals that talk from the vantage point of educating people about children's grief and what they've witnessed. So it's a terrific video, and I encourage people to go there and watch it.
Interesting, and that hopefully will give some insight as to what can be accomplished through the sessions that you have with the children. Mm-hmm. Again, the ages are
3 to 18.
3 to 18. Why can't I remember that? It's 3, I think, that gets me. It seems so young.
Well, they are, and we've had our separate group, and it's not running right now because we don't have enough families. We ran it for a while, but we didn't ever had a 3-year-old. We had 4s, 5s, and we put the 6s in with them. But children play, and they process their grief through play. You'll see it in their drawings, or some playing with super figures, superheroes, and stuffed animals, and I mean that's how they process grief.
Interesting.
And we'll talk about it with them too. It is fascinating.
Wow. So Facebook is the way to gosh, I can't this is like a non-event fundraiser.
Yeah,
There's no place to go
that's right.
except on your handheld.
That's true, except that rain permitting, we have someone sitting a table at the Makawao Farmers Market tomorrow who will have a lot of information and brochures,
Okay.
and the collection box. And I'm hoping if it's rainy in Makawao, she'll get under someone's roof. There's some overhangs there.
Where's
but-
that located?
I think it's just below Komoda's,
Oh, okay. Across from Rodeo.
across
General
from
Store.
Rodeo. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Exactly.
in that little park
Uh-huh.
area.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Exactly.
Okay. And she's gonna have a table with information.
Brochures and she's one of our facilitators, and so she's
Okay.
trained to run the group, so she can answer
And
questions
she can
and
talk with whoever.
yeah, talk story with anybody.
The boxes. We said earlier we can't show people a picture of the box, but it's beautiful red and white.
It's a white cardboard ballot box. It's what you stuff ballots in. So it's a wide slit, so people can put dollar bills or checks.
I see. Okay.
And it's about 5 by 7 at its base, and it has a label on the slanted front, and then it has a 5 by 7 header up on the back with a picture of a child, and it's
Cool.
all red and white. It's quite striking in black and white.
Has anybody else done a fundraiser like this before here? I mean,
Not
I've not heard
to
of
my
it.
knowledge, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is cool.
But just one day, because a lot of merchants, we didn't want to cause work for people.
Right.
And, a lot of people don't want to be responsible for money overnight. So this way, it's like in, out.
Yeah. One more time. If they go to get on this, that's where I get lost.
Facebook?
Yeah, facebook.com/Nakeki-o-Emilia. That's where it is.
Yeah.
Then you're
yeah.
there.
I mean, I don't know my way around Facebook very well, so all I know is that I open Facebook, and if there's any group I want to find, I just put the name in the search bar, and it takes me right to their page.
Ah, okay.
That's easier than all the...
Okay, so open
Spelling.
Facebook, type in the name
Yeah.
Nakeki-o-Emilia,
And you'll be there.
and you're there.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
Maybe that's why I never learned how to do it. It's too easy. I'm looking for something hard.
Talk to me later. I can give you more stuff to do.
Gotcha. Brooke, this has been fabulous. Thank you so much, and I wish a great day for you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Susie.
And I mean, obviously you like collecting money tomorrow, but on the other hand,
we
it's
want-
handing out the brochures.
It's
and
the
talking about it.
brochures, and
And it
we
truly is
really want
awareness.
people to become aware of children's grief and of us here on Maui.
Awareness is
Absolutely.
half the battle.
You bet.
Maybe
bet.
more.
You bet. It's so
Yeah.
important.
Thank-
Thank you so much
Hey.
for this time.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you again. And we will have you on again and again and again.
Thank you.
I mean, you are working on something that is a forever issue.
Yeah, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
That's the remarkable thing, that we're all going to die. There's no escaping it. Yet people avoid it like mad,
Yeah.
And if you do start working with it and dealing with it, it demystifies it. You get, death becomes a friend in that respect. It's not the kind of, you don't have,
That's scary.
at least most people I know, and you talk to people who work at hospice and stuff, you don't have the aversion that you do when it's something unknown,
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
And if we're all going to die, but we're also going to have a lot of friends and family and folks around us who die. Hopefully, in the meantime,
We do.
before we die.
I can't speak for anybody else in this room, but it's like almost a week doesn't go by when somebody else I know, Carrie, you're nodding. Yeah. I mean, it's just, of course, as you get older, it just happens. But yeah, people
Yeah.
People of all ages. Obviously, people more of my people are my age or a little older, but young people sadly are not immune to death either.
Right. Well, what was it somebody said the other day? If the daily paper decided not to run daily like they had just announced and not be do a Sunday paper, they can't do that. I have to open it and see if I'm still alive. If my picture's in there, I'm in trouble.
That's funny.
So anyway, that's on a lighter note. Thank you again, Brooke.
Thank you,
Have a great
Susie.
day tomorrow, and
Thank you.
we're all for the awareness factor for Children's Grief Awareness Day. Thanks again. And we shift gears, and we're going to talk to some folks here from Maui United Way. Gosh, it's time for Christmas and toys.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh, Carrie.
Thanksgiving
Hello.
is next week. What is up?
We've got Carrie Nunakawa, who is the CPO.
President and CPO.
That's Chief Professional Officer, for those who aren't familiar with that term.
I know. That was the first time I ever heard that term, too.
Was it really?
Was when I got the position. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what is that? Because you hear just executive director all the
Right.
time, or president,
Right.
but yeah.
Or CEO.
Or CEO,
Yeah.
but CPO. I was like, that sounds like Star Wars-y.
So how does that make you different from everybody else
It
out there?
doesn't. It's just a different title. It's a mouthful. That's like one of the things I think I would like to...
Is that a United Way kind of thing?
No, because there's some United Ways that they're just CEOs or they're executive directors. Like,
Yeah.
it's different. So,
Interesting.
very interesting. It's too much of a mouthful for me. I think that's one of my, things I want to try to
Shift gears a
shift
little
gears.
on.
Yeah, and just cut that whole...
You want to join the crowd, do you?
I do. I want to be part of the executive directors crowd.
We don't hear that very often. Most executive directors say, "I'd like to be the CEO." It's more prestigious.
Oh,
you know,
no.
and I don't-
Titles don't mean anything.
Yeah, titles
you
are
know?
nothing. It's what you do, what you accomplish, and how much you help all the folks that are out there and that are part of
Exactly.
your community.
Yeah.
And so today you've brought a couple of people with you.
I
to
brought my peeps. I'm
Your-
so excited.
your what?
My peeps. My
Right.
people.
Oh, peeps.
Peeps.
Your people.
Yeah.
Your people and my people going to talk after the after the show.
Exactly.
Okay, I got that. All right. We don't do that anymore, do we? That's an old one. Okay, so your peeps are going to tell us all the details of this?
Yes, so we have Angela Stewart here, and she's our campaign oh God, I always
Projects
campaign and special projects coordinator.
Okay.
And we have Makana Nunes. She is
What?
not. She is.
What happened?
She got married.
Whoa, look at that. Hello.
I know. Look at that bling. You can see it from the sky.
Sheesh, I guess.
Yeah,
My
from outer
goodness.
space. So she just recently got married, like a month ago.
month ago.
Holy
It
cow.
was fast.
And she is our community impact coordinator at Maui United Way. And one of the direct services that we do is our annual holiday toy drive. And Makana is our beauty and brains behind the whole operation. So I'm going to turn the mic over to her and let her kind of talk a little bit about that.
Is she the chief assistant to Santa Claus?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the kids on Maui?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good thing to get that over with before you
Yes.
enter the season, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been here the last 2 years
Right.
with Paul Tonninson, and we've talked about the toy drive.
Uh-huh.
So we're still partnering with them. We're going to serve all of his
Okay.
children that he. that
Paul
are
Paul
clients.
is the executive director of the Friends of the Children's Justice Center.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And
We love you, Paul.
Yeah. And so we are going to kick off our drive on Black Friday. So next Friday, November 24th. And
Woohoo!
that's going to go on until December 17th. So a little less than a month to get toys in. Yeah, we have the requests still coming in, but last year we were able to give out 2,100 toys. And that was actually not fulfilling all the orders. It was about 95% though. So we still did really well, but there is room to definitely get better at serving all of the children in need.
Wow. Now, when we talk about the children in need and the requests coming in, these are coming in from other agencies that work with the children?
Right. So
rather than everybody having their own toy drive
yes.
and kind of wearing everybody out there with trying to figure out who to give to. You
Right.
guys have kind of taken it over and said, okay, just let's all gather up here, and then we'll try to fill your requests.
Yes. So we, in the past, before we partnered with Friends of the Children's Justice Center, we just did our partner agencies through Maui United Way. Right now we have 32 partner agencies with 33 programs that we serve, and not all of them deal with children in need. So we definitely send them to all of our agencies, but only a few will actually apply for
Okay,
assistance.
gotcha. We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back, so think about how many more you can help.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out what's happening in their world. And as we approach Christmas, all eyes and hearts and minds turn to toys for the children
Toys.
who, without the help of these folks that we're talking to today, would not get toys for Christmas. The goal is at least one toy per child, right?
Right.
And the toys are usually age appropriate kind of thing.
Yes.
Yep.
And how does one go about giving you? Well, let's start over. I'm jumping in where we were talking on the break instead of where we ended on the show. So we were talking about the different 32 agencies with 33 programs.
Right.
And then there's others now that are involved as well, right?
Right.
And so as the requests come into you, you have some kind of a gauge as to how many toys you're going to need.
Right.
And last year, 2,100 plus toys were given out. But that didn't take care of all the needs.
No.
So we need more
So
toys.
what seems to be what happens is we get a lot of toys for the 3 to 5 age group because they're bulky. They really feel like you're giving something of worth when really the older kids, they actually don't get much donations for those age groups because usually there's not a toy that they would usually be into. They're usually more expensive to donate. So that's where we need actual funding to go out and buy movie tickets or things that they would be more interested in having.
I see. Okay. So you don't have to give a toy. You can donate
Right.
as well and help the cause.
Yes, you can. You can donate, which would be great
Yeah,
because
so-
it is hard. The older kids that we have, especially the tweens to the teens, that's a difficult age group because, like McKenna said, they don't necessarily have like one big toy of the year or they're all into their own things and it's hard to know what they're really into. So movie tickets are always good.
Gift cards. So
Yeah,
they can go and buy what they
would like. Yeah.
Okay, so like you could go over to, say, Safeway, who has this whole board of all these different gift cards, and do you try to keep within some limit as far as value per card?
Yeah, we try to. I mean, it would be nice to give every child $20 gift card, but they're really happy with any
Exactly.
donation.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so rather than going and buying one for 50, let's get 3 for 20,
Right.
20 each or
Yeah.
something. That's
Yeah.
close.
That's close.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
good math.
Yeah.
At Christmas time, we always want to go over a little. Okay.
Yeah.
And the movie tickets, obviously, that's a good one.
And if you're not really sure, what, you can always do a monetary donation, and we would go out and then buy the toy, quote unquote toy,
Okay.
or tickets or gift card or whatever. But there's also another opportunity. We have Giving Tuesday coming up, which is on November 28th. So on our Facebook page, here we go, Susie.
Facebook.
And
Maui
search
United
Maui
Way.
United Way.
Okay.
So there'll be a tag on there for Giving Tuesday. We're actually going to be starting the campaign about a week early, just hyping it up. And then on November 28th is Giving Tuesday, and we're focusing on our holiday toy drive there. And we're trying to find businesses out there that would like to do a match. So whatever we raise on Giving Tuesday, they would match it,
Oh, wow.
which would be incredible. So businesses that are listening out there, if you would like to be be one of our sponsors and do a corporate match for Giving Tuesday, please call us 244-8787. 244-8787.
Can they do like a challenge match?
They can.
Hey, we'll put in $100 if 2 other agencies or organizations put in $100 each.
Why not? Let's make it fun. People always love competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we would fill that gap to reach 100%. Because it seems like the only reason why we don't is because we need to buy for that older kids, and so
And then we run out of money.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now, you were mentioning earlier that for like the little, smaller kids, people tend to go for the big stuffed animals and things like that. Is that really what you're looking for? I mean,
Yeah, so
I guess I think there's other things that would.
Well, we don't want to, I mean,
You don't
We
want to
hardly-
stifle what they get.
yeah,
You give what you want to give.
Right.
Right.
So, stuffed animals, we don't really get too many of those. A lot of kids like an actual toy to play with. I mean, there are the toddlers, the younger kids that do like stuffed animals, but it's mostly things. Educational toys are highly requested because we have MEO. Head Start is one of our
Agencies.
beneficiaries. Yeah, so we also have EMUA Family Services. So they like toys that can really stimulate them and
Right.
get them into education and learning.
Cool. Yeah.
because learning doesn't have to be boring.
It can
It
be
shouldn't be
Learning
boring.
is fun.
It should
Right.
be. It
And
should be fun.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay. So I was just thinking of when as you're out looking around, and this is something that I can see, as you're doing your other shopping, you look at something and you go, hey, that'd be perfect for the toy drive.
Yeah, puzzles, games. I noticed those are good for the older kids too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want any edibles.
No, those are. Yeah, it's hard for them to check and see if
Right.
it's
Right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with all the allergies out there now, it's
Right.
hard.
And
really
clothes,
hard.
no.
I
That's-
wouldn't do clothes either. It's hard
Okay.
to know the sizes of
Right.
the individual kids, so
Okay.
keep it broad. Toys that pretty much any kid in that age group would enjoy doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then-
now you mentioned that there's boxes out.
Right. So this year we are actually partnering with a new sponsor as well as Pacific Media Group. I mean, Pacific Media Group has sponsored this drive for the past 5 years maybe. But Queen Kahumanu Center is now joining us. So we're going to have our main drop-off location at their visitor's desk right underneath the escalator or on the side of it. So we're going to have a big donation box there. And also at the 2 Macy's locations at the mall.
Okay.
And then also at Pacific Media Group Station. And so any donations that are dropped off at the Queen Kahumanu Center visitor's desk and at Pacific Media Group's office, you'll be entered into a prize drawing. So each one toy, they usually say about $5 minimum, you get put into the prize drawing, which is a trip to Las Vegas for 2 for
Okay.
5 nights.
Holy cow.
with 3 meals daily,
Whoa.
which
Right?
is awesome.
Come on,
How do you
Susie.
spend 5 days in Vegas? You rent a car and you do a lot of driving around Vegas.
You go visit the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
But there's
Go
no
water skiing
limit.
on Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no limit to donations.
Okay.
So every donation gets a entry?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you want to donate 20, you can donate 20 toys. Yeah.
Did
Okay,
you
so it's
hear
not-
that,
it's-
everyone?
It's not based on value. It's based
No.
on number of toys.
Right, but it can't be something, I would say $5 the
Yeah,
minimum. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Oh my
Got
gosh.
your brain
So
thinking, huh,
exciting.
Susie?
Oh yeah.
And then also, Queen Kaumanu Center partnered with Jamba Juice.
Okay.
So every time you donate there, you'll get $1 off coupon of any smoothie or bowl. So that's another incentive there.
Okay.
So there's really
There's no downside to
There's no
this.
downside to this. So
I know, because you give a toy, it makes you feel good, but
Yeah.
then you're also getting stuff in return, which is so
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, it is.
like something tangible.
Yeah.
Not just the feeling of doing good.
Hello. I got you.
Yeah.
Fun. So that's any time of the day and night, as long as Queen K is open,
right.
you can donate. You can drop off there.
Mm-hmm.
Do any other stores or any other offices have donation boxes?
So we're open to businesses doing their own drives,
Oh, okay.
taking responsibility for the drive, making it their own, and then we're welcome to be the beneficiary, come pick it up from you. So that kind of leaves it open to different businesses who want to participate.
Okay, so like some offices where they have a lot of people coming in for
Right.
appointments or whatever.
Or a holiday party
Party.
they might have. Can be a little entry
Yeah.
ticket kind of thing.
Cool. Neat. I like it.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I think the thing I like about it is when we talk about the one gift, because so often you find, well, I shouldn't say so often, but in the past you found different agencies who collected a lot of toys and gave those toys to their people so that some of the kids got 3 or 4 or 5 toys. And
Right.
then there's other people still out there without
Right.
any.
Exactly.
And so you guys spread it around so that everybody has something.
Yes.
And I was talking with somebody the other day, and they said they still have their 3 toy max for their kids when they have Christmas. And I said, what? And they said, 3 toys, that's it. And I said, I don't know if I would have liked that or not. Thank goodness that wasn't a rule in our house. No, it's not. But it was. You think about it. Sometimes we get carried away,
For sure.
and we all know it. But we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's hard.
But I think if we just think for a minute, if you're standing there in front of something, and you're thinking about whether to buy that for your child, think maybe there's a child out there or 2 children that you could help instead of overdoing it with yours,
Exactly.
Right.
with what you were going to spend on that gift.
Yep. Absolutely. That's a great way
was
to
that was
think
that
about
word
it.
to the wise? Ooh,
Yeah.
gosh, who thought of that?
That was beautiful.
That was deep.
Susie. That was
Ooh.
deep.
Oh,
I love
wow.
that. Love that.
And please don't send off for it. Go down to the store and buy it.
Yeah.
And now these have to come in unwrapped.
Yes. Please unwrap so we can really put them in the category of their age group so that when I give them to the agencies, they're given in bulk by age group so that they can wrap it or do what they want with the toys once they receive it. But on my end, I'm just doing the sorting and the distribution
And taking in the orders.
and intake. Yes. It's a big
It's
job.
huge.
I mean, 2,100 toys.
yeah.
So we were very lucky. Usually we had all the toys coming through our
Often.
office, which is on the 3rd floor in a tiny little elevator that sometimes broke. So we had to, so we're very excited that the Queen Kahumanu Center was able to donate a space to us that we can really do all of our intake distribution out of. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Matching those up has got to be a challenge.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. So now that I have the space, I can have volunteers come in and we can all work together instead of just trying to get it in and out as fast as possible.
You can have
So
a party while you're doing it.
I could play
Yeah.
some
You know,
Christmas music.
Exactly. The space that the Queen Kahumanu Center gave us, it's big enough to have like a dance party for sure. I don't know if we can do a dance party when the toys are all in there because it's
gonna be full.
It's going to be full. But I mean, for sure afterwards, maybe we need to
Have a
we need
s-
to
Right.
that.
So then, when do the toys go and get delivered?
Right. So we have different agencies that request different days that they need the toys by because they have maybe holiday parties, or we have a lot of agencies that help with, they have case managers, and so they need to make their house visit. So they would like their toys in at a decent time so they have time to sort and whatnot. So we're ending the drive on the 17th, but I'm hoping that people will donate earlier within the drive so that we can get them out
Right.
earlier. Yeah.
Right. Very good.
Yeah.
Any other last minute thoughts? We got to close up the show. Can you believe?
That's so crazy. Yeah.
I think time goes faster in this room than anywhere else.
I think so. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like warp speed. But I want to remind everybody about Giving Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hashtag Giving Tuesday on November 28th. You can find it on our Facebook or on our website, which is mauiunitedway.org. So please give. Any businesses out there or CEOs or CFOs listening, and you would like to partner with us, that would be wonderful. That way our dollars will stretch further and we'll be able to help more children for the holiday toy drive, which would be great. Hit us up at 244-8787. And I would love if we have some time for Angela to just talk a little bit about our campaign.
You got 30 seconds.
Woohoo!
Okay, we're still running our campaign. We've gotten in about a third of the company donations, so we still have some companies that are running their campaign right now. The state and the county, we'd like to get all their donations in by the end of this month. And all the other ones, they've got until April if they'd like. And if there are any companies out there that would like to have a campaign at their workplace, just give me a call. I can come, I can get it set up. We can do a presentation there. We would love to have you.
Not too late to start.
Not too late to
start.
too
Never.
late. Never.
There you go. That's the word from Maui United Way. Thank you, Carrie and Makana and Angela for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great, happy Christmas season.
Same to you, Susie.
It's a wonderful thing you guys are doing. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's purpose is to provide an opportunity for nonprofit agency directors to gain personal and professional support through cooperative development activities. Maui Nonprofit Directors Association also provides an opportunity for networking to affect significant positive change in our community. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. And if you find one there that you'd like to learn more about, go to their website and check them out. Tell them you want to volunteer. Whether it's a one-time, one-day volunteer or to get involved totally is up to you. But every agency looks for volunteers to help them carry out their mission. If you've heard anything today that makes you want to get involved with one of these agencies, give them a call or go to their websites. We've got Maui United Way and we've got Nakeki Oemalia. Mahalo for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week right here, same time, same place. Listen on KAOI Radio 1110 AM and on the FM dial 96.7, 96.5 on the west side, 98.7 upcountry. We'll have 2 more representatives of our organization on the show. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.